The Anniversary Gala of the Kang-hwa Group was a sea of silk, gold, and cold champagne. Inside the grand ballroom of the Shilla Hotel, the air smelled of expensive perfume and the suffocating scent of absolute power. The chairman stood in the center of a circle of elite investors, his laughter booming through the hall. He looked untouchable. On his wrist, he wore the twin to the gold watch he had given Jin-hyuk, a matching set for the king and his prince.
Tonight isn't just about the past.
The chairman declared, raising his crystal glass to the crowd.
It's about the legacy we are building for the next 50 years.
Jin-hyuk stood a few paces behind him, his tuxedo fitting like a suit of armor. His face was a mask of perfect, quiet devotion. He caught the eye of Seo-jun, who gave a smug, knowing nod. They truly believed the basement was clean. They truly believed the girl had been tamed and tucked away. Then, the heavy oak doors at the back of the hall swung open. The room went silent. Da-eun walked in. She wore a floor-length gown that shimmered like obsidian under the chandeliers. Her hair was swept back, exposing a face that was no longer haunted, but predatory. She didn't look at the guests. Her eyes were locked on the stage. Today, father, she thought, her fingers grazing the hidden wooden bead sewn into the lining of her clutch. Today, the world finally hears you. The chairman stepped onto the stage, the spotlights turning his hair into a crown of white light.
10 years ago, we faced a tragedy in the old district.
The chairman began, his voice dripping with practiced, fake grief.
But from those ashes, we built an empire. Tonight, we announced the new Kang-hwa Tower, a monument to our resilience.
He gestured toward the massive LED screen behind him. The promotional video was supposed to play a glossy 3D render of a glass skyscraper reaching for the clouds. Instead, the screen flickered. A harsh, static hum exploded through the speakers, forcing the guests to cover their ears. The image that appeared wasn't a building. It was a grainy, black and white security feed from 2016. It showed a hallway filled with thick, black smoke. It showed a man in a suit, the chairman, manually turning a heavy iron key in an emergency exit door. He locked it and walked away. The ballroom turned into a tomb. No one breathed. Then, the audio cut in. It was a recording from only 3 days ago, taken inside Jin-hyuk's private office.
The survivors are still talking, then silence them.
The chairman's recorded voice replied, sounding cold and bored.
Just like I did in 2016. A few locked doors, a resolved status in the ledger, and the problem goes away. Kang-hwa doesn't have accidents. We have solutions.
The chairman froze. He turned to the screen, his face draining of color until he looked like a wax figure melting under the stage lights.
What is this?
The chairman screamed, spinning around to look for the tech crew.
Turn it off. Jin-hyuk. Do something.
Jin-hyuk didn't move toward the tech booth. He stepped onto the stage, but he stayed 5 feet away from his father. He stared at the screen, his eyes wide and his breath hitching in a way that looked like pure, unadulterated horror. Father. Jin-hyuk whispered, his voice trembling so perfectly it was a masterpiece of acting. You told me it was an electrical fault. You told me you tried to save them.
Jin-hyuk, shut up and fix this.
The chairman hissed, his mask finally cracking. But it was too late. The grand doors at the back of the ballroom burst open for the second time. Men in dark suits, from the prosecutor's office, marched down the center aisle. Behind them, a swarm of police officers fanned out, blocking every single exit. The lead investigator stepped onto the stage, holding a red-stamped folder.
Chairman Kang, we have received a master file containing 10 years of suppressed evidence, including the original 2016 ledger and unauthorized surveillance recordings. You are under arrest for first-degree murder and corporate sabotage.
The chaos was instantaneous. Flashbulbs from 100 hidden reporters, who had been leaked the location by Da-eun, blinded the stage. Director S tried to duck behind a decorative pillar, but 2 officers tackled him before he could reach the kitchen. Seo-jun didn't wait. He didn't even look back at his uncle's struggling form. He turned and sprinted through the service exit, his mind already racing toward the airport. The company was gone. The Kang name was poison. If he stayed, he was just another resolved problem. The police dragged the chairman toward the edge of the stage. He was kicking, his expensive tuxedo rumpled, his gold watch glinting mockingly in the light. As they pulled him past Jin-hyuk, the chairman grabbed his son's sleeve.
Help me. Tell them it's a lie. Tell them you encrypted those files.
Jin-hyuk leaned down, as if to catch his falling father. To the cameras, it looked like a son's final, tragic embrace. But Jin-hyuk's voice was a cold, lethal whisper that only the chairman could hear.
The status has been updated, father.
Jin-hyuk said, his eyes as hard as diamonds. The chairman's eyes went wide with a terror deeper than anything he had ever felt. The police dragged him away. The ballroom was a wreck of broken glass and abandoned champagne. Da-eun walked up the stairs of the stage, her gown trailing behind her. She stood next to Jin-hyuk in the silence. She looked at the empty spot where the chairman had stood. The man who had haunted her dreams was gone. "It's over," she said. Jin-hyuk looked at her, his mask finally falling away to reveal the man who had spent 10 years waiting for this moment.
No.
Jin-hyuk said, taking her hand.
Now, it actually begins.